What is up, boyos? It is Water Buffalo Man. You're back for more Ark Survival Ascended. And yes, we are on the island because a new dino just dropped today. I think it's by Let me double check before I say this incorrectly. Make sure I get the proper name here, so I don't want to say the incorrect one. Let me look really fast, so give me 1 second. I want to make sure I say the proper name of the dino and the proper name of the creator. It is by Nick BS2. Which I think is known as something else. No, it just says Nick BS2 on CurseForge. I don't know what the actual name is, the creator's name, because I think they have a different name on their Twitter. I'm not entirely sure, and I don't want to be wrong. I don't think it's Dragon Hearts, but it's on here. But the mod will be in the link in the description below, and the dino we have is right here. It is the Muttaburrasaurus. It is the Aussie Editions that is tied in with the Diamantinosaurus as well. If you guys like to see me cover the Diamantinosaurus, I'll cover that as well. I don't know too much about this dino, but we have their, description here in front of me. So let me pause this for a second so it doesn't keep running on us. Alright, so I'll read that back to you guys really quickly. The mod adds the Australian ornithopod Muttaburrasaurus to your game. Special thanks to whoever named it. And that really doesn't have much else on there. It really didn't cover much in details about it. Okay, so I guess we're figuring this out on our own. So how you tame this is it says passive. This is a max level. I had to spawn this one in because I could not find any in the wild. I looked around for a while. I don't know what they do specifically. I have no clue. So we're going to just try to tame this one. It takes kibble, base veggies, or mayo berries. It's a passive tame creature, so it actually seems pretty cool. So let's try to tame it. Okay, so it only took one kibble. Cactus brew? It has cactus brew effective? What does that mean? What is going on? Why am I being attacked? I have durability of... What is going on? What is that buff? Why am I strong? Hold on a second. I'm thoroughly confused as to what's going on right here. And get out of here for a second. Let me read what I got going on. I've got the Baryonyx's Alacrity, and the Stegosaurus's Durability. Let me take a look at these buffs and see what these say. 10% damage resistance at 2.5 health regen, and 20% increased swim speed, oxygen drain by 40% reduction, and I increased my stamina faster. But let's go over here and check out our Muttaburrasaurus and see how well it's doing. Peanut Buttersaurus is what we're going to call this. It's fighting out. It's fighting the Stego. It's kind of doing alright. Does it have different abilities? Like it can just... Hold on a second. These things are getting in my way. What do we got here to fight with? I'll actually just equip this to shoot normal arrows at it. I don't have any normal arrows. These are not tameable? What? Do we just gotta let this thing fight? Man, let me transform. Let me swing out my Rex here. I have no clue what's going on right now. I legitimately have no idea. So we're just gonna bring the Rex out and help fight. Because I have no clue what goes on. We tame it and then we get attacked? Is that supposed to happen? I'm not sure what's supposed to happen here. I don't have a saddle for this guy. Did this thing just roar like a T-Rex now? Yo, hang on a second. So it gives me different buffs? Tyrannosaurus Might. 10% increased damage. Does this guy buff me? Is that what happens? Do you have a saddle? I mean, I'm assuming you do. How do I make it? I can make it in my pocket, actually. But I don't have any metal ingots on me, do I? I do not. So give me a second. Let me fly back to base really quickly. Let me take these two back. And I'll be right back, guys. Alright, so I just did cheat space fly to get back to base quickly. Because, again, this is just like when we showcase mods, we generally don't use our main account, which is Dino Astraeos right now. So you make the mod, or the saddle, in the smithy. And this thing has a size multiplier. This is a 1 point times size multiplier. I saw one earlier that had a 2 times or a 1.1 times multiplier, so it's above a 1. I don't know what the multiplier in size means. I really don't know what that has to do with anything. So let's throw this saddle on this guy and see what this guy can do. I don't understand how to trigger. The aspect of self is what its power is. I just pressed left trigger. I got camo. Let's see, does the tail swipe do anything? It picks up speed as it's running. What does it do? Okay, so this does nothing to this. Does it get gather berries? Oh, it has different abilities when you press left trigger. So now I have the alacrity of the baryonyx. And I've got the aspect of a baryonyx. So it's pretty much a mimic creature. So I got increased swim speed. So let's try this really quickly and see how fast we actually move. This doesn't feel that much faster. I may be wrong. Do I hold it to do different things? Not entirely sure what it's doing. Because I'm pressing left trigger and nothing's happening. Do I press the right stick in? Does that do anything? Left stick in? Does pressing the X button do anything? Nope, that just pulls up that inventory. Right stick in? Nope. Oh, right stick in, it switched to... Okay. So you push for control, you push the right stick in to transition between different aspects. So there's the aspect of self, the aspect of the raptor, which then you press left trigger to activate that. Okay, so this thing has different buffs that it gives off to itself and allies. 20% speed increased on the land, 10% stamina reduction, and 2.5% stamina regen. So it regens stamina a lot faster. Let's see how fast it moves. It's on land. It doesn't seem to be moving all that quickly. Not knocking the dino. It doesn't seem to be moving any faster than normal, really. But then again, 10% isn't a whole lot, really, in the first place. So let's switch to a different aspect. We don't want to do baryonyx. Let's do this stego as well. And apparently you can stack these. So we could switch to the mammoth. No, can we not stack? Can we only stack 2 at a time? Let's see. I think it might only be 2 at a time. Give it a second. Let me do my roar again. I think we can only stack 2, but let's take a look at what the Stegos buff gives you. The Stegos buff gives you 10% damage resistance and health regen. Can I only activate it once in a while? Because it's not allowing me to do the roar again. I don't know what the mammoths does. Maybe you can't have certain ones activated at the same time? There could be something involved with that. I'm not entirely sure. Let's let this one wear off. Alright, now we got just the mammoth. Just the mammoth aspect, which would be... Can we activate the mammoth now? No? Okay, let's switch over to the T-Rex. It roars actually like the dinosaur in question. So it gets that little bit of a buff. Let's take a look on the Rex aspect and see what you do. 5% increased damage plus 10% increased damage when you do the roar. So you get 15% damage increase. So let's see what this does. We're hitting about 112 damage, which isn't terrible, really. That's not bad at all for a creature like this, and it's really made to use... It's got a lot of knockback. The knockback is nice. The knockback is really nice. Because you could just continue to push this guy back, or anything you're fighting, really. Okay. Not sure if it's a creature that I'll use regularly, honestly. It's cool for its own aspect and purposes, but I don't know if this is something I'll ever really like actively use. Does the mammoth actually do anything? I don't think the mammoth does anything. I think it just does the mammoth roar. The coolest one that I like so far is the aspect of the Rex. I feel like that's going to be the best one in terms of just because the amount of damage output you do. It just would help, but we needed to see how much damage we did without that. So let's actually go attack this Diplodocus. Diplodocus. I don't know why I said Diplodocus. Diplodocus. And see how much damage we do, because the Trike might have had a buff. Nope, we just do straight 112 with the T-Rex buff. So let's just keep headbutting it. Let's just do quite a bit of damage and see what we do. And see how, once the T-Rex buff wears off, how much damage we do. So we're probably going to be about 100 damage, more or less. Which, again, this isn't bad. This guy has... I'll check in 1 second how much percentage in damage. Let's see, actually. 325%. Not bad. And again, it has 5k health to start with, which isn't terrible. Alright, so 112 is what we were doing. We're down to 102. So it actually only increased our damage by 10 points. Which, if we're doing 102... normally, 10% of that is 12-ish damage, roughly, give or take. So that's about right, actually. Actually, no, that's incorrect entirely, because 10% of 100 is 10. So if you're using... Oh, no, that's roughly almost right, technically. I mean, it's a little in between, because now... What does the normal aspect do for you? Just you get camo. That's it. Okay. So, It's not a bad creature at all. It's just not something that I generally would use. It's very interesting to have, like, definitely. The look of it's really cool. Let's take a look at it really fast before we wrap the video up here. Let's see what its stats are. It's got 41 points in the health. It's on the lower end of the melee chart at 34, which isn't great, and its weight's kind of low at 29 points, but it's still got 1,000 pounds of weight at this point, so this thing probably could be like a pack mule of some sort. You can't tie a cart to it. I was hoping you could. That would have been pretty cool. But it's... What is the Muttaburrasaurus camel? Let me just look at that really quickly and see what that does. Makes you much harder to detect. Okay, and we had aspect of Tyrannosaurus, so we still have a 5% increase, so that was the last one we used. So we're doing slightly better. The creature's pretty good. Is it something I'm generally probably going to use in my servers? Probably not going forward, but it's a cool little creature that for those of you that are in like a friendly PvP and you want to be able to sneak around, this kind of really fits. And honestly, the name I cannot pronounce at all, and I'm not really going to try to, but it's the Muttaburrasaurus. The peanut butter saurus is what we're going to call this. And I mean, it's really cool. Not my type of creature, but it's very interesting to see that they actually decided to make something that changes with the aspect of the creatures around it. Or not even around it, but just the aspect of what it does can change its different attribute buffs it gets. So that's pretty cool in its one in itself. But it's just tamed passively by Kibble. So there's really not much else for me to talk about with the creature. It's kind of cool. I like it. But again, it's not something I'm probably going to use. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys back here for more Ark Survival Ascended, where we spotlight some more modded creatures. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys then.